What's going on YouTube? This is Mad Mike Trucking. Thank you for joining me on my channel today. I wanted to make a video about why I think Prime, the mega carrier, is the best place for you to go if you're trying to get your CDL and you're trying to get training on how to drive a truck. If you're new to my channel, please hit subscribe, like this video, hit the notification bell, that way you get my future videos, and please share this video with your friends. If you share it, maybe it'll help somebody in their trucking career. Okay, so Prime, I used to work for them as a company driver for 6 months. When I first started in the trucking industry, I started off at CR England. Okay, and I don't know about other companies, but I'm going to talk about my perspectives from when I worked for CR England, my perspectives of when I went to work at Prime as a company driver. So CR England, they take you to this trucking school. They have, I think, 4 or 5 of them across the country, and they basically say, hey, we're going to waive the cost of the trucking school if you come to work for us for 6 months, which is awesome. But then they tell you, hey, come to work or come to our training school. Make sure you bring 14 days of living expenses, because we don't give free food at our training. Okay, so you get there, you're freaking destitute. You're not making any money. It's horrible. They don't freaking feed you, and the training, yeah, it's safety focused training. It's pretty decent truck driver training. It is what you make of it. But in my opinion, their trucks, company trucks as well as their lease trucks, they don't come with APUs on them. They don't come with power inverters on them. And you're just like, what do I do? I have to install all this myself. Now, Prime, each one of their trucks come with an APU unit. Each one of their trucks come with a power inverter on it. So you can get you a fridge, put it in your truck, eat off your truck, cook off your truck. The other reason why I think Prime is a really excellent company as far as mega carriers go is because they have these simulators, freaking simulators. You get in this freaking driving simulator, and so being a driver trainer, I thought these were totally cool. When I was over the road, I used to teach students, right out of trucking school, and also I've gone through as a new driver the driver training at CR England. And so their way of teaching you is they throw you in a truck on their yard, you back the truck up, practice for your CDL backing portion here in the state of Texas, and then they throw you out. You're in a truck with 4 or 5 other students, and you only get about 30 minutes to 45 minutes behind the wheel before you go and you get your driving test. Okay, to me, that's just absolutely horrible way to teach people how to drive a truck. Now, Prime, they got these simulators, okay, and so you get to break down each and every single step of the driving process, from clutching in, clutching out, how to double clutch, and they can turn off the need to steer the truck, which is totally cool. They'll put you on a straightaway in this driving simulator, and you can just practice accelerating and shifting and decelerating and shifting without the weirdness of any traffic around you, or having to worry about making a turn or anything distracting you from learning the gear shift pattern, learning how to do a double clutch, learning how to float, whatever it is that you're trying to learn. Then they can add on to that knowledge piece by piece, teaching you how to slow down for a stop sign, how to utilize your mirrors whenever you're backing. They can teach you all different sorts of driving scenarios. To me, right there, that is super cool. The other part about Prime that I thought was awesome is they feed you 3 square meals a day. I mean, if you're not going to get paid while you're going through trucking school, the least they can do is feed you, So you get fed 3 square meals a day, and they don't just fail you out if you aren't able to make money at or pass their driver training at CR England, a lot of the times if they don't think you're going to make it the first time around, they send you home, and you're destitute going through their training. You're not making any money, and then they kick you out of there. You've got nothing to do. If you go to Prime, chances are if you end up not passing a certain portion, they'll give you one-on-one training with a driver trainer or one of the instructors to kind of coach you through a little bit better. Okay, on top of that, they have retraining for you. Once you're done with your CDL school, they stick you on a trainer's truck, okay, and you go out with a trainer, one-on-one with that trainer. Most of the time, those driver trainers, they're not slip seating the truck with you. They're sitting over there in that passenger seat the whole time while you're driving, and they're just supervising you while you're driving the truck. Okay, that's kind of how their driver training is set up. So you go out for a couple of days to a week on the driver's truck, and you actually deliver loads with him while he's supervising you. When I was training at CR England as a driver trainer, I was a lease operator. I was trying to make as many miles, as much revenue from my truck as possible. So I had to stay up with my students and help them while they were on their shift, and also drive my shift. Okay, and so in my opinion, the driver trainer in that aspect is not willing to give you as much attention. He wants you to just get behind the wheel and pull as many miles as possible. You are basically a cheap labor source for him. Okay, and so while you're needing to learn how to back, while you're learning how to drive this truck, he's not wanting to spend time teaching you how to drive that truck. He's wanting you to be behind the wheel pulling some miles. That's a bad way to learn how to drive, in my opinion. I think you should have a system where they know that one-on-one, hands-on training, but having that trainer supervise you the whole time. He's not having to drive the truck himself. His whole focus during that 1 week period is to teach you how to drive that truck. Now, once you graduate from that portion of your training, you go to phase 2. Phase 2, I don't know how much they pay right now, but I know for me, it was a minimum. For new students, I think it's a minimum weekly pay. So it doesn't matter how much money you make, how many miles y'all run, whatever, you're still making the same amount of money. It's a better way of doing things. Plus, I believe even for the lease operators, the company pays that money, not the driver trainer, not the lease operator. So much better. It incentivizes him to actually take time to teach you what he knows. Okay, so that being said, as far as lease operator programs, even with Prime, I don't think that it's a good idea ever to lease a truck from a mega carrier. In my opinion, in the beginning of your trucking career, your sole focus is to learn how to drive that truck. You don't want to be learning and making mistakes on your dime. You want to make mistakes on someone else's dime as a company driver. Instead of you spending all this money on maintenance and stuff like that because you messed something up, or instead of, getting a truck and you don't know how to be a profitable owner-operator yet, a profitable truck driver yet, you're making those mistakes on the company's dime as opposed to on your dime. Now, if you want a better way to go about through the lease trucking path, I'm going to make another video in the future about how to do that. I just wanted to drop this last comment. In truck driving, I think the biggest money, the biggest pay in truck driving, hands down, is in specialization in the truck driving industry. Just like a doctor that works in the ER or a general doctor, he doesn't make nearly as much as a brain surgeon does. He doesn't make nearly as much as, specialization in the medical industry. Whereas in the trucking industry, it's the same way. The big money loads are in custom critical loads, oversized, overweight, in tankers, in hazmat loads, and also here in the oil field, okay? And that's why I wanted to make this video. Is Prime Trucking, they have a tanker division. As a company driver, you can get experience hauling tanker loads, and that way whenever you bring your trucking career out to the oil field, you've already got trucking experience hauling tankers, and so you can jump into company trucks here in the oil field and make big money. Specialization in the trucking industry is the way to go. If you guys have any questions, put them in the question section below. If you have any comments, do the same. Please share this video, and again, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. You guys have a God bless day. Thank you for joining me on Mad Mike Trucking.